think we forgot something there. What is going on, kids? We're back. Today, we're gonna cut up Miss Piggy. So we're gonna set you up. I'm gonna do my best to bring you in and show you a thing or two, and we'll see how this all goes. We'll see you in a second. All right, so right here we have the 4/4. So this has the head attached, the hawk, the picnic, and the butt. So I'm gonna go ahead and break this all down and I'll show you the individual parts. All right, so there's your head. Here's your butt. Also, people call it the Boston butt. There's your picnic. There's your hawk in the front. Ooh, that's fun. Got a little discharge coming out of that bone there, so we're gonna handle that. So we're gonna go ahead, break all this down. They're getting steaks and roasts out of the butt, and everything else is gonna be grind. So we're gonna go ahead, speed this up, and we'll see you in a second. All right, so when you're breaking down these butts, if you look at them, that's gonna be the beginning of or the end of your shoulder blade. So, when you are doing this, there are glands all over pigs. They're all over beef too, but they're definitely a lot more pronounced in pork. So if you look at it, you're going to put yourself right dead center in the middle. You're going to see where this chunk of fat is. You're going to dig in, clean all this up. And there she is. So if you look at that right there, that is all glands. And I promise you, you do not want that in your burger or sausage. You are going to know it. All right, so now we have a cleaned up butt. It's all good to go. We're gonna slap some steaks off it on the saw, and we'll tie the rest up for a roast. All right, so now we got a really nice Boston butt roast. Toss it on the crock pot, toss it on the smoker, and we got a couple of really nice pork steaks. That's what I love about these Herefords, is the marbling of them is just fantastic. And these will sear up real nice on the grill. You can do them in the cast iron. I've done them in the Dutch oven. You can do just about anything with these. I like cutting them about 1 inch. That way it's something you can just toss on the grill really quick, couple flips, and you're good to go. All right, so let's pull this bad Larry down. And let's start breaking this down. Turn you a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and break this down, and I will show you all the individual parts while we're doing it, or at the end of it. All right, so main part of the pig's broken down. This is obviously gonna be your ham. Here's your hock. We're gonna break this off. We're gonna check them out. They're gonna keep those for crock pot stuff. This is your belly. This is where your bacon's coming from. We're gonna go through, we'll pull the spare ribs off. We'll take this suet off. They are going to render down all their fat for lard. Actually, I will be doing that. So there'll be a lard video coming at some point soon, as well as a bacon video. I've got a handful of bellies in the fridge, including this one that are gonna go in the smokehouse coming up in a couple weeks. So more than likely, I will try and get a video out on the brining process, but if not, there will definitely be a video of the smoking itself. Then this is your loin. They are doing all roasts out of the loin. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 2 bone-in rib roasts, center cut roast. We'll pull the tenderloin out, do that boneless. And we'll also do a sirloin roast as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss these 2 aside. We're gonna get that ham boned out because they're gonna do all sausage on that one. And once I get started on a couple other things, we'll start pulling you in. All right, so what we're also gonna do with this, we ground the rest of the ham. And what I like to do is turn the top rounds. I like to cut them about 1/4 inch thick. Then what you can do is you can take them out of the freezer. I usually do 6 or 7 per package, and you can pound them out, bread them and fry them, make really nice schnitzel. If you do it with beef, it would be essentially chicken fried steak, right along the same lines. So, I'll do it about that thin. It's a nice little fry steak right there. All right, so there are your cutlets. Like I said, 5 to 6 per package. It's a solid meal. This is only feeding 2 people, so I don't want to make the packages too big. All right, so now we will tackle this monster. So first thing we're gonna do, take the tenderloin out. I'm gonna split where we are going to do some bone-in roasts. The rest are gonna be boneless, and we'll get this all figured out. All right, so as you can see with this bone-in roast, I did just throw it out, which would have been a good visual aid, but oh well. I took the spine off of this roast. It's called chining. So that way I can pop these feather bones off really nice, and there's not just a whole lot of extra bone that's gonna be in the way when you're actually cooking. All right, so loin is done. That's gonna be your pork tenderloin. That's gonna be good in the grill, oven. Really, you can do whatever you want with it. This is gonna be your rib roast. I like to get a little fancy sometimes, especially if I know who it's going to. They'll enjoy it. This is, if you were going to do a crown roast, you would essentially do this twice. You'd keep the rest of the loin on there and do it a little out further, and you'd slice on this side. Slice in between the ribs, and you're actually able to bend it around and tie it, so if you've ever seen anything like that. And then that's your sirloin roast. I usually do that style tie on that guy just because of the shape of it. And then all these little loin roasts. I highly suggest, if you don't know what you actually are going to eat, if it's your first time getting a pig, get a lot of roasts, because worst case scenario, you cut them up yourself. They're super easy, and the roasts are fantastic. This is actually all I got for back fat out of this animal, which I'm a little surprised about, and it just kind of solidifies I kind of did the right thing putting her in the cooler. I would usually expect a lot more off gilt her age, but again, they're gonna be making suet, or not suet, lard. So we'll keep this, and we're gonna go ahead and jump in on this belly. All right, so belly's done. Again, that's the amount of suet we got. I would expect 3 times as much on a pig at this age with how I feed. So again, there was some underlying stuff there. These are your spare ribs. Great in the oven, great in the crock pot, great in the smoker. And a lot of people will just end up grinding this. If you wanted to, and I've done this with smaller pigs that really didn't have much belly on them, or especially if you're someplace where there's wild pigs, I would just leave this whole belly attached to those spare ribs. Because what you can do at that point is essentially you're just gonna have a giant spare rib that's gonna hold a lot more moisture and have flavor. But with these guys, these are still decently sized bellies. So we are going to go ahead and brine these and smoke these. So we'll do that. So that is a half a pig getting cut up. I'm gonna go ahead and bust out the second half and we'll pull you back once everything's packaged. We'll just show you the finished product. Thanks, guys. All right, kids, we're back. So these are all the final cuts. I do not have the bellies out here because everything is going in the brine tomorrow, so I didn't bother cryovacing it, wasting the bag. But this is the whole pig packaged. So this is close to what you'd expect. Again, the hams are all grind, so they have about 100 pounds of grind coming. But again, we have everything from the pork steaks to the pork cutlets. We're gonna be rendering down the fat for them because they're family friends. Spare ribs, pork tenderloins. We kept the hocks intact. Multiple different roasts, from bone-in rib roasts all the way down to 2-pound loin roasts and sirloin roasts. So there are a lot of different varieties, and honestly on this one we really didn't do much variety. This is just kind of a bare minimum setup when it comes to cutting up your pig. So do your research, talk to your butcher. If you're gonna do it yourself, read some books and talk to someone who's done it before. And you've got a lot of different things you can do with these pigs. So, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time.